So, for the past several years, we have been focused on shifting from a minister centered community to a mission centric one. And we've been learning and trying to bring into our structures and processes and the ways in which we engage with each other using integral ministry practices. And yet, it's still an educational process. And I know that I have people ask me, well, what exactly does that mean? And so this morning, I'm going to spend a little time trying to help us visualize and begin to integrate even more deeply how that looks and feels for us. Integral comes from the Latin word integer, which in its most simplistic definition means whole. And integral spiritual communities prioritize holistic development. That means physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. And they structure themselves around a shared mission and purpose. We have our guiding principles, our 5 unity principles that are part of the ways in which we make decisions around and seek to engage. And in these communities, we become open to a blend of both traditional and innovative organizational models. To explore this holistic development, we've included frameworks like Ken Wilber's integral theory, using the 4 quadrants. And we've talked about this before, but it's good to just be reminded. The individual interior part of us, the individual exterior part of us, and then there's also the same lens of the collective interior parts and the collective part that we express out into the world. So if we start to look at this, the top left box is all about the inner journey. It's about waking up. Waking up to our interconnectedness with life, to who we've come here to be, and to the healing power of divine love. So we each week try and bring ideas and practices that help us to awaken in a deeper way. And this internal awareness impacts how we, as individuals, view and engage with the world around us. I'm calling it the grow-up stage. And in order to be able to do that in a more holistic way, we have to be better skilled at agreeing and disagreeing in love, at nonviolent communication, at ways in which we can all individually be able to speak and support one another. They help us to be able to, in a more holistic way, navigate the differences of a big group of people coming together with a shared purpose. The lower left represents the group culture. And to be successful in this mission model, it must include tools that enhance our capacity to clean up. Tools like practicing forgiveness, doing shadow work. That's part of the reason why we've been looking at what have we collectively, what's built up over the years that might get in the way of that. It includes ways in which we discover how we can be more self-responsible, and each person has accountability for the part that they've said yes to play in this community. And finally, the lower right map, the collective external part of us, is how we show up, how our purpose expresses out into the world, our collective capacity to positively impact the greater community and world. Creating opportunities for us to wake up, grow up, clean up, and show up are necessary if we're going to fulfill our purpose of transforming lives and making a positive difference in the world. As Wilber points out, all quadrants must develop in balance with each other, or unhealthy distortions arise. And this is part of looking at, are we in balance with our internal and our external? I'll give you an example. I had someone come to me and was talking to me. They were challenged because they really valued spending time with their family. And yet when we looked at how they actually showed, experienced and invested their time in the external world, 60 to 70 hours of that was in their drive to want to be successful, to climb the corporate ladder. And so then you are incoherent with what I really value and what I'm actually doing. And so the journey is really about bringing those parts of us into balance and finding ways that we can make shifts so that we feel that sense of coherence in our life. An integral community also recognizes that it's not, and this is for you, Kenny, either or, rather it's both and. We live kind of in an either or world. It's either this or that. It's either right or wrong. It's either light or dark. And yet, in this holistic way of being, it's both. It's not one or the other, but it's a way of how we can bring both of those together. It's not about abandoning all the traditions that have been part of our community for something else completely. The ideal is we transcend and include those, that we grow as we're being called to grow, but we also honor, and where we can, include part of our history, what has been part of our foundation. It's about providing a container that's designed to be dynamic and adaptable, recognizing that both the individuals and the community itself are on a path of growth and evolution. We're not static. We are constantly in change, and we have to be in change because this world is in a very rapid place of growth and evolution. The organizing model moves beyond the traditional sort of pastor flock model that has been in church history for eons, this sort of top-down structure. You come, you receive, and then you give with your financial good or perhaps your volunteer time. It moves into a place where we have team-based leadership. There might be a council of qualified individuals responsible for stewardship and decision-making, but it evolves around having processes and opportunities for community consensus building, for input, for discussions. And a key aspect is the capacity for members to self-organize into smaller, sort of purpose-driven groups. Things like spirit groups that we've been implementing for a while, shared interest groups, project teams that take on specific tasks or are around specific interests. Because those are the ways that we can foster, excuse me, deeper connections and individual empowerment. In essence, the structure of an integral spiritual community is less about a rigid, one-size-fits-all hierarchy and more about creating flexible, principle-based, and developmentally conscious environments that support both the individual and the community. In my experience, the greatest challenge in this integral model is moving from our human tendency to base our decisions and to react based on that place of experience and want to predict and control. So when challenges come up, we looked at, and how can we fix this? It becomes a way of, we're always looking at fixing whatever the next problem is that's arising. And moving to a place where one is open to both sensing and responding to the energy of spirit, to the energy that seems to be arising. It is more about seeking what wants to be known rather than living from what is known. And it's a different place. It's not something that we are taught, and it's certainly not something that most of us have practiced for any depth or any length of time. The We Space group, we've been doing that we just finished up is all about sensing and responding, and being able to do that not only for ourselves, but being able to do that for the group collectively. And it takes a lot of practice in order to be able to trust it, because that's the biggest part. We're like, I don't know, that's just something showing up in my head or arising in my heart. But, the experience doesn't tell me that that's true or that that's the right way to go. It's really a process where we remain open and we trust and we have faith that allows what is seeking to emerge, what is seeking to be released, to be released, and to embrace as guided by Spirit and by love. So we're going to get to practice that this morning. We're going to move into our time of meditation. And in this time, I'm just going to invite each of you, as we kind of bring our attention inward, to be open to move to your heart space and to be open to the guidance that might be wanting to emerge within your own heart, your own mind, your own life. So if you'd be willing, if you would just kind of set anything you're holding on to aside. You can close your eyes if you're comfortable, or just soften your gaze as you bring your attention inward. And we do that beginning with the breath, because the breath brings us into this present moment. The breath is where we can find the very energy of God moving in and through us. So as we just take a deep breath in, and then gently let that breath go. Just let go of any other thoughts that you might be having right now about what's going to happen later this day, or anything that's brought you into this moment. And just see if you can't bring your mind, your thoughts, fully present to the breath. As you take another deep breath, and as you let that breath go, just feel your body begin to relax. If there's any points of stress or soreness in the body on this next breath, as you let it go, just see if you can't let that tension release along with it. And on this final breath, as you bring that air into your lungs, also see it moving into your heart. In fact, imagine that thinking part of you is gently and slowly, as you let that breath go, sinking down and coming to rest in your heart space. This is the mind of the heart. This is the seat of wisdom beyond our knowing. This is the place where we can come and feel connected to that which we cannot see and sense, but we know is present. And as you just keep your attention focused in your heart space, just allow, or perhaps even ask, for guidance, assurance, maybe just a huge dose of love on this morning. And as you deeply listen, be open to whatever arises. We're just going to spend about a minute in the silence so that we can be that receptive vessel for what is seeking to be known in our lives. And as you slowly begin to bring your attention back, aware once again of your body and its support on the chair that you're sitting, aware of the sounds in the room, offer up a sense of gratitude and thanks for what showed up today, knowing that as you have asked, even if it didn't happen in this moment, throughout the events of this day, just be aware and be ready for the way that Spirit will guide you and enliven your mind. One more deep breath in. As you let that go, you can open your eyes. You know, what I've been talking about this morning might seem like a new and radical idea for churches, but this model is far closer to how Jesus encouraged his early followers to organize. Jesus spoke of a spiritual community, what he called the body of Christ, where believers are deeply interconnected, a community that's built on love and unity and shared purpose, where each person brings their gifts to support the whole. Jesus used the analogy of the vine and the branches in trying to describe how we are interconnected. In John 15, he says, where individual growth and he said, I am the vine and you are the branches. And where individual growth, this bearing fruit, is dependent upon remaining connected to God and to each other. Individual believers are interconnected members of a single, living, spiritual body, with each part contributing to the whole, to the fruit that results. Now, the challenge with those early Christian communities arose around disputes of doctrine, different values as they welcome both Jews and Gentiles into the community, unfair power consolidated in wealthy benefactors, and emotionally and spiritually unhealthy people causing dysfunction with no skills to manage it. In many ways, it continues to be our challenge today. To live into becoming the beloved community, as Martin Luther King and then Jim Lockhart has also written a lot about it. Author Jim Lockhart writes this. He says that the community must be as spiritually and psychologically healthy as possible and continually work towards getting healthier. It focuses on helping its members realize their own loving and compassionate natures, with channels to express those natures into the world. And it must recognize that our humanness, which we are a big old group of people, I like to tell people, we want to be free of judgment and full of love, but we are a big old body of people that come together. Our tendency to fail along the pathway and learning to apply that same love and compassion within and with each other. And as we do, the veil of separation dissolves, and we can truly bring about the experience of heaven on earth. So in just a few moments, the ushers are going to invite you to come up row by row and share of your gifts with this community. You can place them in the large basket. And then we have a small basket that is filled with affirmations, and we invite you to take one of those, receive a message that Spirit has for you this week. And even if it's not your Sunday to share, or you give electronically, you can come and be in that flow of giving and receiving. You can simply place your hand over the basket and just add your energy of abundance into this community, and then, of course, receive an affirmation. We are so blessed with the many ways that we receive into this community in addition to the ways that we can take that and then bring that out into the communities that surround us. I do want us to celebrate this morning. We have officially paid off our line of credit, and we did it in record time. So we're very grateful to all the people who have supported us and allowed that to happen so that we can have that monies freed up for other ways in which we can support people on their journey. So if you will join me as we hold what we're going to offer today, or the energy of that in our hands and in our hearts, let's join as we bless it together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, Father, Mother God.
All right, so why don't we go ahead and stand up together. We're going to join hands across this aisle, and let's do our peace song.
And so as we go into this day and into this week, knowing that we are eternally and ultimately connected by that energy of divine love, we go knowing our prayer for protection. We'll do it as a call and response. The light of God surrounds us.
I am the light of God.
The love of God enfolds us.
I am the love of God.
The power of God protects us.
I am the power of God.
The presence of God watches over us. Together, wherever we are, God is, and all is well. All right.